Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how you can integrate live Android notification update which was a part of Android 16 in React Native's new architecture for Android. So this particular tutorial will target only for Android using React Native, and like I said, this feature is only available on Android 16 and above. So if you have a lower Android device you won't be able to test it. So let me show you guys the output first. I have recorded the output so that I can explain it to you a bit more. So here you can see this is our app running. So I'll just play this video. So first it asks for notification permission. I'll just give the notification permission. Then here I have few buttons. I'm just displaying the notification bar just to prove it to you. I don't have any notification at the start. Then I'll just click on this first button. As soon as I click on it, here you can see it is showing this particular notification, and here it is trying to find me a driver. So here the progress is indeterministic. Okay, so I have taken the example of a driver finding app like a Uber or a Ola. So that's what this is about. So this is first. Then I click on second button. In the second button we are able to find the progress, and here you can see progress is 10. So that's what we are displaying over here. Okay, when I click on the third button, the progress is 20. So I have updated the same progress in the same notification without creating a new notification. When I click on the fourth button, progress is 30, but here now I am also showing the stop button as well. So there is one extra button. If I click on this button, it is just displaying a toast message for now, but you can integrate whatever you feel like. Now I have clicked on the fifth button. So on the fifth button, here you can see this particular thing. This is called a progress point. So if you want to display multiple progress point, you can do that inside your application inside your notification as well. Then when I click on the sixth button, here you can see we are displaying this particular thing, like in case if there is some traffic you can display it with some different color if you feel like as well. And here we have the seventh. If I click on seventh, I can display a start and an end icon for the progress thing as well, in case if you are interested. So yeah, that's what this video is all about. So let's get started. So first you need to create a React Native application by running this command. You don't need to specify the version. Whatever is the latest version at the time of you guys watching the video, it will take that version. So you just need to run this particular command. At the time of me recording, it is React Native version 82. Okay, then at the time of me recording, there is no third-party library available which can achieve this functionality. Maybe by the time you guys watching, there might be a third-party library, but at least at the time of me recording, there is none available. So I will be writing native code for this. So that's why I've opened this documentation. So once you have created a React Native project, first what you need to do is, before you run any code, is you just need to come over here. So I'll just click on open. Just click on open inside Android Studio and click navigate to where your React Native project is. So this is my React Native project. Go to the Android folder and click on open. As soon as you click on open, it does take a bit of time to do Gradle syncing. If it doesn't do Gradle syncing and you get a process node error, something like that, if you're not getting any error, that's well and good. If you are getting an error, I got an error, you just need to go to Android Studio, go to settings, and here inside build execution development deployment build tools Gradle, here you need to change the Java version to 17. Click on apply, click on OK, and then you just have to click on this elephant icon, which is a Gradle syncing icon again, and it will do the Gradle syncing for you. Now once you do the Gradle syncing, you might have noticed in the output, just close all this file. Okay, you might have noticed in the output when I was showing you, there were a lot of icons. So you need to have some SVG icons. You can use JPEG and PNG as well, but that is not recommended. And if you use JPEG and PNG, you need to modify my code a little bit. Android suggests you to use SVG icon. Now the problem with SVG is you can't directly import that inside your Android project. You have to convert it to XML format. Now don't try to use React Native SVG, something like that, because you can't reference those files of your React Native from your native code. It would be extremely problematic. So just do the way I'm saying. You just need to go to the RES folder, go to drawable, and here you can see I have added all these SVG files. Like I said, these are not SVG extension. So suppose if you have an svg file, you can just right click on this drawable folder, click on new vector asset, click on local file, and here you just click on this icon and just select your svg file. Once you have selected, you can just click on next and click on finish, and it will convert it to xml format. If you're like me lazy, you can use the built-in svg icons as well, which are in Android Studio. So just right click vector assets, clip art, and here you can just click on this particular icon, and it will show all the icons which are available. Just select any one of this. Sorry, if I select this, click on OK, click on next, click on finish. But make sure if you are using some different icon than mine, make sure you change the name as well inside the native code. So that is very important. So these are all the icons which I'm using. Now we don't need Android Studio, so come back to VS Code. So first, if you see the documentation, it tells us to create a specs folder. Here they are using the name of native local storage. This does not make sense in our case. So instead of native local storage, I have named it as native live notification. So wherever you see local storage, you need to replace it with native live notification. Sorry. So here you can see I have created a specs folder inside the root of our React Native project and named it as native live notification. Okay, then here I have just copy pasted this code from the documentation itself, but I have just made few changes. So firstly, this name has been changed, and here I have created this interface, and here I have added all these 7 methods. Sorry. Now if you want to pass some data from React Native side to native side, you can use something like this. That's why in the first method itself I have added this, but for rest of that I have kept simple. But if you want to pass some data, most probably you will need to pass some data from React Native side to native side. That's why you can use this particular approach which I have shown you for the first method. Okay, then what you need to do is you just need to cd to your React Native project. So I'll just cd. So this is my React Native project. Okay, I'll just move it over here. I'll clear everything out. Okay, then you just need to go to package.json over here. If I come to the documentation, you just need to copy paste this particular bit of code and paste it over here. As you can see, again you need to replace local storage with live notification over here as well as over here. Okay, so that's what I have done. Then if you see, we need to run this command, so I'll just copy these 2 lines of code. Okay, and I'll paste it inside my terminal. So this will do code generation for us. Again, another important thing is your TypeScript file should have the word native at the start, otherwise React Native will not able to find your file for a code generation. Okay, so that's why I've named it. So here you can see it has finished. In your case it might take a bit of time, so be patient. The build should be successful. Once that is done, you need to go to the Android folder, go to app, go to build.gradle first, and here inside scroll down, inside dependencies you need to add this particular dependency. Now at the time of me recording, this is the latest version. If there is some higher version, make sure you use that higher version as well. One more thing is React Native 82 automatically targets target SDK version 36. So your project needs to target version 36, so it's better you at least use React Native 82 and above. Otherwise, again, even if you are running it on Android 16 and if your project does not target SDK 36, you will face issue. Okay, all right, then I think that should be it. Then you just need to go to src, go to android manifest.xml, and here I have added 2 permission: post notification as well as post promoted notification. Okay, then you need to go to src main java com, and inside com you need to create a folder which matches with your TypeScript file name. So as you can see, I have created it, named it as native live notification. Then here I have created firstly a file called native live notification module.kt. So here I have just pasted. I'll come back to this later on, but here you can see I am following this template. Now we can't really use code of this file because our implementation will differ completely, so that's why. So first let's go through this code. So this is the package name. Okay, these are all the imports, so feel free to pause video and copy all these imports. Then here we have this native live notification module which extends from native live notification spec. Here we are just setting the name, and here we have the ID. We are getting notification manager, and inside init we call setup notification channel method. Now here is our first method. So here we are checking if user is using Android 16 and above, then first call build base notification. This is a separate method which I have created. I'll show you that shortly. And here I'm passing the content title. So here you can see we are passing the title which we were sending it from React Native side. Here I'm setting the content text. Here is our small icon. Here we are setting the style. For the first button we are setting the progress as indeterministic, right? So that's what indeterminate. So that's what we are using over here. Here we are setting the large icon, set short critical text, and here we are calling build. Then we just do notification manager dot notify. For second method, again the same thing. The only change is instead of progress indeterministic, I have set the progress and I have changed this particular title as well as content text as well. Rest everything remains the same. And whenever you are setting progress, you don't need to use this particular method, set short critical text. So that's why I've commented this out. Instead you need to use set show when true, and set when you need to provide some approximate time by the, like, when will the driver reach to the user. Okay, so that's what I'm doing over here. For the third method, again it's the same. Again I have just updated the progress to 20. That's it, nothing else. Now for the fourth, if you remember, we had a button click, right? So for buttons inside notification, we can't directly add a click listener. We have to use something called as pending intent. Now pending intent requires an intent. So if you see over here, I have first defined an intent. Now mostly pending intent, like whatever action you want to perform, for pending intent you need to have a broadcast receiver, but it can be anything. I have used the concept of broadcast receiver. So this is a separate class or a file which I have created. I'll show you that shortly, which displays the toast message on the button click, and here we create our pending intent. Then again we just it's same as previous, but I have just updated the progress to 30, and finally we do this add action, and here you can see we pass the pending intent. If you want to pass an icon over here, you can pass it. I have kept it as null. Now coming to that pending intent, here you can see I have created this file add stop receiver.kt. So on receive I'm just displaying a toast message, nothing else. So pretty simple. Now if you are like me using a broadcast receiver, you need to go to android manifest.xml and you need to add this particular line of code as well. So this is very important. Okay, next let's come to native again. Come over here. Now for the fifth, again the same thing I have done. Only thing different is here we are setting the progress point, so you can add it to whatever point you feel like. Okay, then for the sixth one, here if you want to use spannable string, you can use it as well. So spannable string allows you to define some color as well, and here I'm setting the progress style as well. Now unfortunately this is not getting displayed on my Android 16 device. I don't know why. This could be a bug in Android 16. They might resolve this in Android 16.1 16.2, I don't know. This is not getting displayed. So this is basically like displaying different segments inside your notification. So yeah, that's what this achieves. And finally the seventh one, if you want to display progress start icon and progress end icon, you can use this particular thing. So yeah, that's all there is to it. Then here this is the method for setting up notification channel, and this is for building the base notification which I was talking about earlier. Okay, and here is a companion object for setting the name. Now coming back, next you need to create native live notification package.kt. Now this I have copied it from the documentation. If you come over here, you can just copy paste this code, but everywhere instead of local storage you need to write live notification. That's all I have done over here. Rest everything remains the same. Then you need to go to your main application.kt file, and here you need to add this particular line of code as well as this line of code as well. So you need to add this two line of code. Okay, once that is done, you just need to go to app.tsx over here. You need to add first this particular line of code as well as this line of code. Here we have defined a state as well. Then here we have this method where we are requesting the notification permission. If it is granted, sorry, this should not be camera granted, sorry about that, but anyways you can change the variable name to whatever you feel like, and here we are just changing the state and we are calling that method inside use effect. And here I have just defined few buttons, and if notification permission is granted, we are just calling the appropriate method. That's it. So here I'm calling second, here I'm calling third, fourth, fifth,
6th, 7th. That's all there is to it. Yeah, that should be enough. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Bye.